Delhi and Kabul look to focus on development partnership. I will not waste any more time. I'll straight away go to Ambassador Prabhu Dayal. Sir, we have invested in a different arithmetic in the last 25 years, which was Northern Alliance, sir. We have a technical sort of a mission operating in Afghanistan. Is it a big breakthrough, sir, that we are having this sort of a visit in New Delhi, sir?
Well, certainly it's a very important development, and it is very vital from our overall interest point of view. And that is why India secured a waiver from the UN Security Council's Sanctions Committee to allow the visit, because otherwise Muttaqi was not allowed to travel outside Afghanistan. So this was a critical step in enabling the meeting to take place. So I think there are several aspects which make the visit important. Firstly, the strengthening of diplomatic ties. The meeting marks a key moment in the improving, though unofficial, relationship between India and the Taliban-led administration. As you said, India had strongly supported the Northern Alliance earlier, but it is pragmatic to try and work out an engagement with the Taliban since they are in control, because it is important from the point of view of our overall interests. Firstly, we need to counter our regional rivals. The visit will allow India to reassert its influence in Afghanistan, particularly in response to China and Pakistan, which are also vying for a strong relationship with the Taliban. Secondly, we have geopolitical and trade interests. The visit will provide an opportunity to discuss, crucial issues, including trade and connectivity projects, particularly the Chabahar port-related things, because India is trying to develop a trade route to provide Afghanistan for assistance by bypassing Pakistan. And then, of course, there is the security cooperation. Combating terrorism will be a central topic of discussion. India has been concerned about Afghanistan being used as a staging ground for anti-India activities. And therefore, we will seek to get guarantees from the Taliban. The Taliban, on their part, have an interest in cooperating against rivals like the Islamic State Khorasan province. Then, of course, the relationship with Afghanistan is also important in the context of India's humanitarian assistance. The discussions will build on India's continued humanitarian aid and development projects in Afghanistan, because we have a long-standing relationship with the Afghan people. And when they are in difficulty, we don't want to hold back. We want to assist them in several areas, such as, health, food, and educational sectors. So India has provided scholarship, for instance, to Afghan students, and tries to support the Afghan people through various assistance programs. Therefore, India's continued humanitarian aid will also be a focus of discussion during Mr. Muttaqi's visit. All said and done, there are very many aspects, but from the way I look at it, the primary focus will be on securing firm commitments regarding counter-terrorism. Central concern is that Afghanistan's territory could be used as a base by terrorist groups to plan and launch attacks in India. And therefore, India will press Muttaqi for concrete assurances that the Taliban regime will not permit anti-India activity from Afghan soil. Let me also mention that India has long been worried about the activities of the Pakistan-based militant groups. So these will be an important topic for discussion. We will try to get the assistance of the Afghan government to rein such terrorists.
So if you recall, when Karzai and Ghani were there, the Afghan security had a very, they had strong run-ins with the Pakistani security forces during Karzai and Ghani thing. Of late, if you have noticed that the Taliban too, like Ghani and Karzai, have refused to accept the Durand line. They have, there are regular run-ins between the Pakistan and the Taliban. Do you think that this is one fault line which works to the India's advantage?
Yes, certainly. There is a great disagreement between the Taliban regime and Pakistan, particularly relating to the Durand line. And the Afghans do not consider Khyber Pakhtunkhwa to be belonging to Pakistan. They say it is a part of Afghanistan and should come back to Afghan, sovereignty. So this is a very important point of difference. And for decades, as we all know, Pakistan viewed Afghanistan as a source of strategic depth to counter India. And India's renewed engagement with the Taliban erodes the strategic calculation in a number of ways. So I think that the visit will be important from this point of view also, to see how India can strengthen relations with the Taliban at a time when the Taliban is having such serious differences with Pakistan.
I also had I had the opportunity to visit Kabul thrice in last 20 years, from Ghazni to Mazar-e-Sharif, and I noticed there was an Indira Gandhi hospital there in Kabul. There were work going on the Salma Dam in Afghanistan. We were instrumental in building that Kabul Kandahar Delanj highway, because you spoke about the Chabahar, because that would connect the Chabahar via Delanj to the Kandahar. Do you think that the Afghans really recall the sort of money which we had put in there for the building their parliament, organizing their elections, working towards empowering and educating women, schools, providing them kits, EVMs, this sort of a stuff which Pakistan has never done, would never do?
Well, as I understand from media reports and from my interactions with people who are knowledgeable, the Taliban does appreciate the assistance which India has given consistently over decades to the building of that country and the projects that we have executed there. So this visit by Muttaqi could be in that overall broad context of Afghanistan continuing to have a profitable relationship with India.